Ready to go?
Yeah.
We've already got flies in the house. Got flies. Definitely have flies. All right, here we go. It is October the 2nd, 2018, and we are here for our 94th show. I thought I was going to be rusty, but I'm not. So I'm ready to go. You?
Yeah, same here.
All right, so anyway, I hope everybody has been doing well. Sorry for the multiple days off.
I think we had a week off.
Yeah, I don't think Carla and I have done any type of tennis show for about the past 5 days, maybe 6 days.
Yes, it's been 6 days.
So sorry for the delayed hiatus in a way, but we've been busy, super busy, and we wanted to allot some time to catch up with you guys. So we're under the house today. I'll tell you why we're under the house at the later part of this part, or maybe into the next part at part 2. And that will this will precede a video we're going to do tomorrow or the next day. We'll get into that. All right, so we've been working a lot. It's the end of the season for tennis, and it's also kind of a slower time in the business that Carla and I do. So we've been just kind of really putting the pedal to the metal and been grinding it out for the past 5 to 7 days. So, hey, you got to pay the bills, right?
Yep.
All right, got to do what you got to do. Let's go. Come on. So ready for today. Got a lot to talk about, believe it or not.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of nuggets, and I think the nuggets are pretty good nuggets. And then we have viewer comments.
Okay.
All right, so in any event, we are going to run through some of the current news, events, and then get to viewer comments at the end. Then we're gonna jump right in. All right, here we go. My first nugget of the day. For me, in about the past 6 days of reading tennis, talking tennis with Carla, and many hours in the car, I think my favorite one was a Djokovic nugget. So do you want me to tell you about this Djokovic nugget?
Sure, go ahead.
So I came across this video clip of Djokovic and this young man like learning to dance.
The floss dance.
I even tried it. Look, I don't think I can do it. I don't think I can do it.
Oh, please stop.
Okay?
No, that looks terrible. You definitely cannot do it.
I'm not scared though.
But you know what? It's not even a dance. I mean, it's cute. Kids do it. It's like the Macarena, something that'll go away.
It made you smile though, right?
It made me laugh. You know, Djokovic has that kind of weird body. Like, he's skinny and he's flexible and he's goofy looking. So, yeah.
I thought it was a great moment.
It was funny. I was laughing.
Loved it.
He was goofy.
Just hanging out, man.
And the kid's watching him, and he's trying to teach him, but he didn't quite get it, so he just started doing his own dance.
Well, yeah, like at the end he started doing his own
Yeah.
dance. I was like, yes,
He's
come
goofy.
on. I was like, let's go.
Kind of reminds you of you, goofy.
Okay, I take that as a compliment.
I mean, as far as dancing, goofy.
Okay, so that's my first nugget. So if you didn't see the dance, look out for the dance where he's dancing with this young man. I think it's like a Fortnite dance. I don't know anything about that. I'm just saying.
I don't know.
I think that's what it is or
they
something.
put the dance into the game. It's not a Fortnite dance, but it's one of the dances in that dumb video game. Yeah.
I don't know anything about the video game. I'm not a video gamer, but nonetheless, from what I hear, the dance was from the game Fortnite. But I don't know anything about that. Anyway, I thought it was an absolutely great moment. Let's go! Shoot, that was awesome. It made my day when I saw that. Are you serious? Okay, let me tell you something that made my day earlier today, by the way. So we're talking about tennis nuggets and nice moments that make us happy and give us positive energy aside from tennis and talking tennis and things that we cherish in life, right? All right, well, today...
I feel like the camera's like so close to me. I have to go like this.
Magnification.
Yeah.
We are under the house. There's a stiff wind, so the camera's a little bit closer than usual, so you don't get muffled. Okay? All right. So I was sitting at the kitchen table, and I was writing notes for today, and Carla was having some computer issues. She couldn't get the computer to respond quick enough. And I think we all know that sometimes you can go into your settings and go into your control panel and delete your cookies, you know, like your add-on data. And by the way, pardon these flies. They're everywhere, and they join us every time we do a show. I'm rooting for the flies. I don't want to swat them.
Well, I had something that gone in
Whoa,
there.
whoa,
and
whoa,
it
whoa,
says
whoa, whoa. She's already coming up with this.
When someone spammed you or
Okay,
something,
wait.
Your Microsoft
Okay,
is locked.
she's
So
already-
I had to shut it
she's
down, and I
yeah.
said, let me delete.
She's already trying to take the intensity out of this.
I never said that, though, what you're about to say.
Oh, you did say it. Okay, so here's what happens. So she's sitting down at the computer, and she's like, man, and instead of saying, I need to go and delete my cookies, like the actual thing you delete on your computer, and we got to fly in the camera again. She said, man, she was sitting there all into it. She was like, I got to go delete my donuts.
I never said
She said she was going to delete the donuts.
I don't remember saying that.
Oh, she did. You're like, oh man, I got to get this out. And she was like, I got to go delete my donuts. And I'm like, what? Delete donuts? What is that? So that was kind of my Djokovic dance moment of today. So I saw the Djokovic dance yesterday, and she called the cookies donuts today.
I don't remember that, but okay.
Let's go! Oh, she did it. She said it loud and clear. Even my two oldest sons heard it. They were like, what? Donuts? Chris came crawling over the couch talking about, Mom, I'm going to slap you in the neck for that one. He like tried to lift her hair up and was going to smack her on the neck for the donuts. Donuts? Man. Tell you what. The heck are we even going to do with you? All right. Next nugget. Ball boy stuff. So a ball boy, I read an article that's from a ball boy that was interviewed, and the ball boy was interviewed who was his favorite player. It was a veteran ball boy, I guess a ball boy that takes ball boying very seriously. And no, I have been a ball boy before at amateur tournaments.
I never have.
And it's highly intense. So first of all, foremost, much love to the ball boy. I'm not being funny about this one. I mean, and not being comical at all, but I mean, the ones at the net are just a wide open target for an errant ball in the face. And I'm sorry, but that hurts.
Oh, yeah, I know. I've been hit by many tennis balls. I know.
I mean, I think some golfer just had her eye explode from a golf ball hitting
at the Ryder
Cup.
Yeah.
So let's be real. Let's be real. If someone pelts a missile forehand at 102 miles an hour and smokes it in your face, I'm sorry, but that's respectable to be there. Number one, but nonetheless, I want to roll back from being serious about the ball boys, but ball boys and girls deserve standing ovation.
Yeah, they do. Like at the U.S. Open, they do tryouts. I remember when I was we were training at Flushing Meadows. I never did the ball girl, ball boy. I guess I never tried to try out for it because I was never interested. I'd rather sit down and watch the matches. But it's quite intense. But they do get a lot of good things. They get tickets. They get merchandise.
Yeah, and I think some like rackets too and some stuff.
Yeah, they get some pretty neat stuff.
At the end of the day, they work hard for that. That's not where I'm going with this.
And they get like minimum wage too. At the U.S. Open, they got minimum wage.
So the ball boy was asked who was his favorite person to be on court with, being a senior ball boy. That he had to focus. He has to be the most focused, but. Who was the one you didn't feel like you had to focus the most on and had a good time with? His answer was, drum roll, Novak Djokovic.
He said Djokovic, Monfils, and Baghdadis. They were funny and they made the kids laugh. Is what he said.
Yeah, and we have Gus a win, so hopefully you can hear it. So the ball boy's favorite player to interact with would be Djokovic on court. The least favorite, well, he said he liked Monfils and Baghdadis.
Yes.
The least favorite were Roger Federer and Juan Martín del Potro.
And Nadal.
And Rafa Nadal.
And he said Roddick was tough to ball boy for, and Murray's always grouchy, but never rude to the kids.
Yeah, so I guess Federer was so pristine, and he had to be so peculiar, even though we don't see it on TV too much. We just see it looks like it's graceful, but it does take a lot of support from the ball people to make it look that way. So a nice theatrical performance that I didn't know anything about for that for that context, I guess you could say. But it's highly theatrical in a sense, not in an ostentatious way, but they make sure his stuff's lined up. Nadal's water bottles.
I just wonder who decided to write an article about what a ball boy thought about.
Don't you think? I think that's a great article. Don't you think the ball boys deserve massive amounts of credit?
Who had that idea of, let me ask this ball boy what he thinks of tennis players?
I think it's a great article, and I'm sorry.
I'm just curious how they got to that point.
Well, I should have referenced the writer and where we got it from. It's definitely not our nugget. We read that. With that said, though, I think there should be a ball boy and ball girl Hall of Fame. I mean, they had a Seinfeld episode about ball boys.
Okay.
It's important.
Okay, I'm laughing at that one.
All right. Comments on the ball boys. I think they're the just equally as important as the umpire and the players on the court at that level.
Sure.
All right. Verdasco, by the way, decides to, speaking of ball boys, rip into a ball boy for being too slow to bring him his towel. On top of that, wasn't Verdasco just mentioned in the past 6 months or 5 months since we've been doing this show about being involved in a potential match fixing, namely doubles, but it might have just been his partner, and now he's yelling at the ball boy?
Well, not only that, also when and he played Andy Murray at the U.S. Open, they took a timeout, and instead of him going to the bathroom, he got to meet his coach
in the locker room.
So he's got, I don't know, he's trying to be a bad boy. As watched the video, as you know, he was trying to hurry up the ball boy. I mean, it just reminded me of what my dad used to do to us, like hurry up. You know, I think it's a Spanish thing, honestly. I didn't see it as too bad. He was probably a little bit frustrated, and he beat Andy Murray again.
How you going to yell at a boy?
He didn't yell at him. He's like, come on.
Okay,
come on.
wait a minute. Okay, we're gonna reenact this. You tell me if this is yelling.
I laughed
Wait
when
a
I saw that.
minute. If you're at a baseball game or a tennis match or a football game and your kids are playing, and you are doing this,
He's like telling him move his legs.
It's basically yelling without talking. So when you have a ball boy that's fumbling over the towel, and you have a player doing this,
he was like just telling him to move fast.
Move fast. Man, I tell you what, between coaching at the U.S. Open, between the ball boy, and between, what was the other one? The trainer, the trainer at the U.S. Open, the ball boy, and potential match fixing. Potentially, that's never innocent, obviously.
He's turning to be a bad boy, I guess.
What is this?
I don't know.
Anyway, gee whiz, man.
I found it comical. Maybe some people didn't. For me, it was comical, but I'm sure if it was my kid, I would have probably got out of the stand and kicked his butt.
Yeah, I would have jumped off like Hulk Hogan off the top rope and done a Jimmy Flash Snuka and DDT'd him.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, man. Was there a Monday Night Football thing where they do come on, man? Like, how do you... That's a come on, man.
Yeah, that is.
Whack. Yelling at a boy? Weak. All right, anyway. Next nugget. Oh, by the way, I missed one because that led into this one. Verdasco beat Murray, though, at this last tournament. I think it was a semifinal. Then Murray pulled out for the remainder of the 2018 season.
Yeah.
That'd probably be a very smart move, I would think. I don't think it's going to help him in his future or not. I think it's pretty much...
he just needs to get some tournaments under his belt, some more match practice. And I mean, he did the right thing pulling out. He's got to be careful with that hip injury. I mean, all he needs to do is get a few more matches in before the Australian Open. He should be all right. I mean, I don't see him winning a Grand Slam, but he can get into the second week.
This is my next question before I go into a small nugget rant. How does Murray, poll question, how does Murray honestly do next year? How does he do? Does he do well and make some semifinals at majors? Does he win an ATP Masters 1000? Heck, does he even win a 500? Or not saying that's not a big deal, but what does he win anything next year? Let's even go with the 250.
I think he does.
He wins a 250?
I think so, and I think he'll do better by Wimbledon and U.S. Open. He'll get in the second week.
Personally, I don't think Murray wins another tournament over a 250 in his career.
You don't think that he probably feels in his mind that he could do the same thing as Nadal did after injury, Federer did after injury, and Djokovic did after injury?
Nope. I can't believe he even did it when he was healthy, get to all the finals and all the semis. But again, I'm not knocking Murray as a person, but I don't care for his game.
You have to feel bad for that guy, though. The way he walks, that injury took a lot out of him. He's definitely not the same player. Obviously, he's lost to Verdasco twice. That would have never happened earlier in his career.
All right, what are your thoughts? Does Murray win anything over a 250 next year, or does he even win
a 250?
Sloane Stephens goes off on Pavlyuchenkova at the last tournament, and we had a cat fight. Woo! All right, do you want to tell them what happened?
From what I read, I guess Stephens was up 5-2. Pavlyuchenkova
in the second set. Sloane Stephens was up 5-2 and already won the first set.
Pavlyuchenkova decided to call the trainer at 5-2.
Yep.
And I think who was serving? Steven was serving. And then I guess it took her out of her rhythm. She lost that game.
And she was broken. So she was Pavlyuchenkova was down a set and also 2-5 in the second set. Sloane Stephens was serving. match was basically over.
Before we go there, I don't see the whole point of calling a trainer when you're at 5-2.
You just said it. It's a rhythm breaker.
Yeah, I don't see that. Why would they, the WTA, the ATP, they have to change those rules. You should not be allowed to call a trainer. If you're down 5-0 or you're about to lose a match, that's questionable. I mean, there should be some rules about that. I would not allow that. And I would be upset. Sloane Stephens said, I guess she came in, she won that match. She came into volley, and Pavlyuchenkova tried to hit her with the volley. And then she blurted out, that B tried to hit me.
Yes, it went down that way. So Pavlyuchenkova's down a set in 2-5. Sloane Stephens is serving at 5-2 to win the match. Pavlyuchenkova calls the trainer. That upsets Sloane Stephens. She knows that she's not hurt, so they go sit down.
And she mentions that, and Pavlyuchenkova said, well, how can you accuse me of cheating?
So they sit down at their chairs, and she looks over at her basically says, you know you're not even hurt. You know, we're supposed to be humble here. We're supposed to be athletes. And
I agree with her, 100%.
I'm not saying, I'm just telling you the facts.
Yeah.
Okay? So the trainer gets off the court. Sloane Stephens goes back to serve again, like as they were before. Sloane Stephens is broken. They change sides. Actually, it gets to 5-4, and it was 5-2. Then it was 5-3. She held, and they switched at 5-4. Sloane Stephens ultimately won, but on the changeover, she looks at the ref and says that adult word that starts with the B.
Tried to hit me.
In the game before, Sloane Stephens came to the net, and she went right at her when she had an easy passing shot. Honestly, I think that's no big deal. Sometimes I
do that a lot to people.
Sometimes that's the shot you need to take. Sometimes you do need to go at somebody. I'm not saying go head hunting all the time, but if I'm playing Carla and she's dominating me and I find her at the net, sometimes I feel like if I go at her face really hard, and I'm not even being funny, if I feel like I need to tear her head off with the ball just to shake her up a little bit, I will, and she'll do the same thing. And so will
part of the game.
So will any player. Any player will do that.
I've done it to some players a lot.
I've seen your brother do it to you and nail you right in the leg and left a circle bruise in her leg.
I've done it to people to basically tell them, I'm giving them a warning. The more you keep coming into that net, the more I'm coming after you.
Yeah, so I see it.
So back off.
I see it both ways here. The 2-5
she
down the set. She should have called the trainer. So I get Sloane Stephens. I get Sloane Stephens being upset. I think that we all can agree that rule needs to change when obviously they're not injured. Well, who knows? Someone might get sued if they're actually having a heat stroke or something. They don't let you call out and someone dies.
That's a bit different.
So that's the litigation behind it. You know, if you don't give them a timeout when they ask and something happens, now the whole tournament's on the spotlight for a suit of some sort. Anyway, we're going to move on to the next nugget. But at the same time, Sloane Stephens can't gripe about being potentially tagged with the ball. That's part of the game.
Hey, don't they do it in football? Sometimes they try to
tear each other's heads off.
Yeah, they try to intimidate the the opposite team. You know,
Absolutely.
I've seen it done too. I've seen it done in soccer.
All right, I want to knock this deal over. All right, so we have a total of 4 poll questions that I'm going to answer, or I'm going to ask, and then we have some that you guys asked us and everybody else, and we'll read those when we get to viewer comments, by the way. Poll question number 1. Does David Ferrer go to the Hall of Fame? Quick answer.
Yes.
I agree, yes. Does David Ferrer go to the Hall of Fame? Second question. Does Mikhail Yuzny go into the Hall of Fame?
No.
I vote yes. What's your answer? Ping pong, anyone. Does anyone play ping pong? I'm a big ping pong fan. Really love it, and sometimes find myself watching touch tennis matches, which is a smaller court. I've seen some really intense touch tennis matches and some really intense ping pong.
Well, I didn't know about touch tennis until someone sent us a video about it.
Yeah, I think it was.
It was either Stefan or Kane, one of them two.
Or Stimpy Boy, maybe.
No, it was one of them two.
Furzio 9.
It could be Furzio.
One of those guys sent us this thing about touch tennis, and I'm sorry, I should have written that down. But the touch tennis thing is amazing. But ping pong for me is something I get almost as pumped up with tennis. As tennis about, but I'm not nearly as good in ping pong as in tennis, but I'll hold my own on the ping pong table. Ping pong, anyone? Yes or no? 4th question. Where is Davydenko now? One of my favorite players of all time. I don't know why we don't talk about him more.
He got up to, I think he was in the top 3, wasn't he?
Okay,
didn't he go higher than that?
So where is Davydenko? I think it's Nikolai Davydenko.
Yes.
Davydenko is one of my all-time favorite players, and we should give him more attention. What a great player.
He was a skinny player, kind of like
little guy, shaved head, kind of receding hairline like mine. But anyway.
By the way, he's a year younger than me. Can you believe that?
So
He retired young.
here's the poll question that regards Davydenko. Does Davydenko go into the Hall of Fame?
No.
I say yes.
I say no.
I say Davydenko.
The reason I say Ferrer yes is because he's made it to a final.
Number 4 in the world.
And he got higher than that.
I think Davydenko got up there like 3 or 4 in the world at some point.
Highest ranking was number 3.
Told you. What?
But if you
Let's
look
go.
If you look at his Grand Slam results,
Doesn't matter.
They're
If
not
Ferrer,
as good as.
if Ferrer gets in,
But he has only
Davydenko
2
must
career
get in.
titles.
So
2 career titles.
I don't care.
Ferrer has more.
All right. So anyway, does Davydenko get in? Does Ferrer get in? And does Usyk get in? I got yes, yes, and yes. What about you?
I say no to Usyk because he didn't make it to the top like that. I don't think so.
All right, moving on. By the way, I'm going to throw this in because I'm a sports fan, and just because something may be a violent sport doesn't mean I don't necessarily like it. I don't do the mixed martial arts stuff. I can't do that stuff. But football, I like American football, tackle padded football. If anyone watches, I wanted to compare a quarterback that plays for the Kansas City Chiefs to Novak Djokovic. I'm going to do this quickly because some of you may not even follow it, and I don't want to waste your time. But if you follow me as a sports fan, I'm going to tell you why Patrick Mahomes, the young quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs, reminds me of Djokovic. Djokovic is very crafty. He does things that are incredible and slides and moves and comes up and steps back, rolls around, gets it, and it covers the court, stretches like it's nothing, right? This kid, Patrick Mahomes, thrown like 12 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, just beat the Broncos last night in a comeback win, his second year. And he even changed hands. Like he was sitting back and he was about to hit his shot, which is a pass in this metaphor. Boom, flips it to his left hand, throws it, and ends up driving the team down to win the game against Denver. But I see Djokovic's footwork. When this quarterback's back, he reminds me of Djokovic's feet. So if you could care nothing about football at all, and you're like, stop talking about football, I get it. This is a tennis channel. But it's also about footwork. It's also about being a gentleman, a leader, and also being humble, and a lot of other things, and discipline. And this kid here has got the right stuff. He's got the right stuff. I don't know much about him. Nonetheless, he was drafted last year, but watch this kid's footwork. Go to a YouTube video, click on Patrick Mahomes, and watch this kid move around. He's not cocky. He reminds me of Djokovic in his feet. Watch Djokovic's feet. Watch Mahomes' feet. All right, check him out. Good poise, good awareness, and it reminds me of a young Djokovic. All right.
You mean older Djokovic?
No, a younger. He reminds me of a younger
young
Djokovic.
Djokovic was not humble and all this stuff. So.
Well, no, I mean, you can't say that because I saw Djokovic in 2007, the U.S. Open play Federer, and he was humble the whole match, and he lost in straight sets. So I disagree with you there. I'm not saying he wasn't. Anyway, I'm not going to we talked about that. All right, quick toss out too.
I'll watch this video. I don't even know who you're talking about, so I'll watch him too.
This is a byproduct question. Again, there's a lot of sports going in now, and there's not a lot of tennis. So I'm going to throw 2 things out there. Basketball season, NBA is approaching. She's a big LeBron fan. She was with him at Cleveland. I'm a Laker fan.
I'm not a Cleveland fan. I'm just a fan of LeBron. So wherever he goes, I'm a fan of. I would be a New York Knicks fan, but they suck. So.
Well, see, that means you're not a real fan. See,
I used to be in the 90s.
I was a Lakers.
I'm from New York, but not anymore.
I'm a Californian, born there. I've been a Lakers fan since a boy. From the Johnsons and the Coopers and the AC Greens into the Worseys and the Kareems. I've been a fan since then. Born there. I'm not a Lakers fan this year because LeBron's there. Even if it was just last year.
So you like LeVar Ball? Or who's playing Alonso?
Yeah. Lonzo Ball.
Lonzo Ball.
I think he's bulked up a little bit from what I've read,
and he's changed his shots a bit.
But we'll see what happens. I still would. I think personally, I would rather have Rondo, who's the point guard that came from Boston. Actually, I think Rondo was in Chicago. I think just a little bit before that, but. I'm pulling for Rondo to have a big year, and here's a teaser. I think that somehow the Lakers pull Kevin Love in from Cleveland, only because Cleveland owes him $110 million or something, and if they can push that off in Los Angeles, it's a mutual agreement. It's a win-win for both clubs. I guarantee you. I'm not guaranteeing it because I have to do something. I don't want to proclaim a bet, but I guarantee you it's a good possibility that Kevin Love ends up in the Lakers or at Lakers, if not this year, then next year. How much time we got?
We're at 24.
All right, we're doing pretty good actually. All right, so a poll question, if you get into basketball, if not, disregard. Does LeBron make a playoff run with the Lakers this year? I got yes.
Yes, definitely.
Do the Warriors ultimately win again?
No.
So Golden State does not win again?
No, I hate that team.
Honestly, as much as I hate to say it,
I hate that team.
as much as I hate to say it, I think that Golden State's only competition might be in Boston. I don't think LeBron is going to be able to handle that this year.
I can't stand Durant. I can't stand the other one, Draymond Green. I can't stand those three guys.
All right, two more basketball notes. The Houston Rockets, are they going to do anything? You probably don't know much about them.
Yes, I do. I did watch them play against the Warriors. They had a huge chance last year.
Yeah.
I think they can.
Yeah, Chris Paul went out, I think. Anyway, nonetheless,
I think they can.
Do the Rockets do anything this year? Lastly, or no, the Celtics. I wanted to mention the Celtics.
I don't see the Celtics doing.
I think the Celtics go to the finals out of the East. Just saying. I think Warriors Celtics this year. That's my opinion. Long shot out. Houston. I think they'll make the playoffs, obviously, but I don't think they'll make a final again. And lastly, this is breaking news. Kyrie Irving says that he no longer believes that the world is flat.
Oh, wow.
It's back to round, guys.
So he didn't go to elementary school?
No, there's a whole conspiracy thing about the world being flat,
Come
and the whole moon landing was a fake. You've never heard that?
Yes, I have many times.
All right. Well, anyway, he believes it's now round again. I thought that would make.
I don't really care what he thinks, but okay.
I thought that would help us be more calm throughout the day. That we know we're not going to end up walking off an edge somewhere.
All right.
You don't feel better?
No.
All right.
I never really cared for him.
Serena Williams pulls out of the rest of the season.
Smart.
Leading into another poll question.
She has nothing else to prove.
Does Serena Williams win a major?
Yes.
Next year?
Definitely win.
Which one?
I give her best shot would be she dominates in Australian Open. She has a lot of them.
Okay.
I don't think it'll be the Australian though. I think it'll be either Wimbledon or the U.S. Open again. French is out of the question for her.
I'm a big Serena fan. I'm a big Serena fan, but not a fan of some of the recent stuff, obviously. So with that alleviated from my forecast, I think she'll win another major.
She wants to tie Margaret Court.
But she's going to get there. I just don't think she's going to be still fit quite yet enough.
Yeah, come on. By that time, she should be after a year. Yeah.
As much as I hate to say this, I don't think she'll win the Australian. I think her next.
No, I don't think it'll be the Australian.
I think her next best chance is Wimbledon.
Wimbledon or the U.S. Open is gonna be her chance.
Yeah, I'm in there.
French Open for her is dicey. It's just for any American player.
All right, moving forward. So I'm going to reference again the Pavlyuchenkova calling a medical timeout down a set and then 2-5 with the person serving, like actually beginning to serve. She calls a timeout. And they get in a big cat fight and dramatic stuff, that be and all this stuff. What to do about that? I mean, she obviously wasn't injured, but what happens if she had like some bad thing happen, heart attack, and they didn't give her the timeout? Then what would happen?
That would be obvious.
How do we control that? Because this was an obvious.
Well, they need to ask the trainers what was wrong with that person after the match is done, and maybe start finding people if it's just something dumb.
So what do we do about that? I mean, you have to be careful. I guess you have to tread carefully on that subject because, aren't there football players and football practices in the summers all the time and even into the falls where they're running? They ask the coach, "Hey man, I'm hot," whatever. They keep trucking, and then they fall out and die.
They're not indoors. They're outdoors.
Indoors.
This match was indoors.
Oh, either way, they can get hot. What about the U.S. Open this year? That was scorching hot with no wind.
Okay, well, indoors is a bit different. The AC's going.
Yeah, I'm not a proponent either way. I'm just saying, what do we do about it? This was a blatant display of someone just utilizing or abusing it.
Yeah.
But what do we do about it? Can you do anything about it?
Yeah.
Or do you just let it go?
No.
All right, we're at 28. All right, so I got maybe 1 or 2 nuggets left. Man, I'm having a good time today. I'm having a good time. Coaching on the sidelines for men. First of all, yes or no?
No, definitely not.
Okay.
I will not watch tennis if that happens.
Second of all, can anyone fathom Wimbledon having coaching on the sidelines of all tournaments, the most conservative and traditional? Wimbledon have any?
No.
Okay.
I thought someone at Wimbledon said, somebody that runs the tournament or somebody that's part of that tournament said, this tennis is like gladiators, one-on-one. They have to figure it out.
Survival of the fittest.
Come on, that just weakens the sport even more.
These flies are killing me. Oh, the strong survives. Look, and I would understand if the U.S. Open had it because it's a USTA tournament, and at the same time,
I still wouldn't.
I'm just telling you why I could understand the U.S. Open. I don't agree with it either way. I think it's preposterous, but I can understand why the U.S. Open, I would think that the U.S. Open would be okay with it because the USTA is a proponent of coaching on the sidelines. But the Wimbledon would have been the last tournament that I ever thought would allow coaching on the sidelines. But they're talking about it. Kind of odd, right? So coaching on the sidelines is the question for men. Proponent?
No, I don't even like watching Federer tell Severev what to do. I mean, that to me was weak.
Yeah, I'm out on every level, and the wind's picking up, so that's why I'm kind of scooting up. But it's definitely picked up. I'm not a proponent for the women's side or the men's side. I think it's a theatrical performance.
If they allow Justin, if they allow that, then they're going to allow coaching at a junior level, and then that changes everything.
Anyway, I don't get it at all. And I don't even think it helps. I really don't even think it helps. I just if a player's better than you, they're going to beat you no matter if your coach comes out or not.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, let's say I'm playing you, Carla. You're dominating me 5-1. I'm going to say, hey, Dad, can you come tell me what I'm doing wrong? And all of a sudden she's going to lose. I mean, I get it. It's colorful and it makes it different.
The only time
but
coaching,
it's just a theatrical performance.
Justin,
of
the only
bullcrap.
time coaching would help is like, let's say you're at the last set and it's a tiebreaker. And maybe your coach notices something that you're not doing to win that tiebreaker that's 7 points. That's the only time I see could be a benefit.
Your thoughts on coaching on the sidelines, in this case for men, I know we've talked about the women, but for the men, this pot's broiling. We are starting to hear a lot about this. We are going to end part 1 here, and we're going to go directly into part 2. And we're going to finish off with some more nuggets, and then we're going to get into viewer comments and some poll questions that were asked by viewers for all of us to answer. All right, part 2 coming up.
Right.
Like it, subscribe, share. If you wish to contribute to the channel, it always helps. So we can spend a little bit more time and get a little bit better equipment, I guess you could say. But if you care to do so, there's a link below. All right, part 2 coming up.